You know when you're in a Pilates class and the instructor says something like, engage your core, and you're thinking, what does that actually mean? Well, today, we're going to decode those instructions and uncover the amazing anatomical blueprint they're designed to activate. Let's really dive in.
Engage your core. You've heard it a million times, right? But what are we really talking about here? Is it just, squeezing your abs as hard as you can? The real answer is so much more elegant and frankly, way, way cooler.
Okay, so here's the first big mental shift we need to make. Your core has almost nothing to do with a six-pack. That's just the muscle on the very surface. The real core is this deep, incredibly intelligent system that acts like your body's own internal command center.
So, we're about to go on a little anatomical journey together. We're going to peel back the layers and see how Pilates taps into your body's brilliant design. And we'll do it by looking at three huge ideas: breathing, the core stabilizer, and alignment.
First things first, we have to talk about the power source. And it all starts with something you do, get this, about 20,000 times a day. Most of the time without even thinking about it. Breathing.
So we've got to totally rethink what breathing is. It's not just this passive thing your body does to get oxygen. No, it's an active, powerful mechanical process that literally creates pressure to support your entire torso from the inside out.
Pilates uses a really specific technique for this called lateral ribcage breathing. So instead of just puffing your belly out, you focus on breathing into your sides and your back. Picture an accordion expanding. The reason we do this is it keeps the front stable and lets those deep core muscles do their job properly.
And the star of this whole show is the diaphragm. It's this huge, parachute-shaped muscle that sits just under your lungs. When you breathe in, it contracts and presses down, kind of like a powerful piston.
Now, when that diaphragm pushes down, it does something amazing. It increases what's called intra-abdominal pressure. The best way to think about it is like you're inflating a super strong airbag all around your spine. This creates this incredible 360-degree brace protecting you from the inside.
Okay, so let's actually build this core canister right now. The roof, we just met it. That's the diaphragm. The floor of the canister is your pelvic floor. The front and side walls are this amazing deep muscle called the transversus abdominis, and the back wall is made of these tiny little muscles all along your spine, the multifidus.
So here they are, the fantastic four of your true core. You've got the diaphragm up top managing the pressure. The transversus abdominis acts like your body's own natural core set. The multifidus in the back stabilizes every single bone in your spine, and the pelvic floor supports the whole thing from below. They're all designed to work in perfect harmony with every single breath you take.
Okay, so we've got our power source, that breath creating internal pressure. Now let's look at what that power is actually fueling. This brings us to our second principle, the central stabilizer, or as Joseph Pilates himself called it, the powerhouse.
Now, the real job of this powerhouse isn't what you might think. It's not about creating big movements like when you do a bicep curl. Its job is to create a rock-solid anchor point before your arms and legs even think about moving. It's all about anticipatory protection.
And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. The true genius of your body's design isn't really about raw strength. It's about impeccable split-second timing.
It's something called the feed-forward mechanism, which sounds super technical, but it's basically an automatic, pre-programmed response from your nervous system. Get this, before you even consciously decide to lift your arm, your brain has already sent a signal to your deepest core muscle, that inner corset, to fire first and protect your spine. It's a built-in safety feature.
This timeline shows just how incredible it is. Literally milliseconds before your arm even begins to move, your deep core has already switched on to create stability. The big takeaway? Stabilization precedes movement. That is the entire key.
And that, right there, is the true meaning of that classic Pilates cue. Pulling your navel to your spine isn't about sucking in your stomach to look thinner. It's a very precise command to consciously wake up and retrain that brilliant automatic protective system.
So now we have this amazing core, powered by breath and stabilized by our own inner armor. So what is it all designed to support? Well, that brings us to the frame itself, our alignment.
You know, a lot of us think that good posture means having a perfectly straight, military-style back. But that's not actually how we're built. Our spine is designed with these beautiful, gentle S-curves. This is called a neutral spine, and it's basically a dynamic spring, perfectly engineered to absorb shock and distribute force.
And this brings up a really important idea in Pilates. Most of the time, our goal is to maintain that stable, neutral spine while our arms and legs are moving. But then, you have an exercise like a shoulder bridge, where we intentionally do the opposite. We peel the spine off the floor one bone at a time. That's called articulation, and knowing when to stabilize versus when to articulate is key.
Okay, wow, we've covered a ton of ground. We've talked about breathing for pressure, the deep core for stability, and alignment for structure. So how in the world do we tie this all together into one simple idea?
Well, I want you to imagine you're setting up a tent. To make sure that tent is strong and won't just blow over in the wind, you need a few things to work in perfect harmony. Your body is exactly the same.
This analogy just nails it. The tent poles, that's your alignment, your skeleton, that's the frame. The ropes that pull on the poles and give them tension and stability, those are your deep core muscles. And your breath, that's the internal pressure that inflates the whole structure from within, keeping the canvas taut and strong.
And you absolutely need all three. Without the poles, the ropes are useless. Without the ropes, the poles just collapse. And without that internal pressure from your breath, the whole thing is flimsy and saggy. But when they all work together, you create a structure that is unbelievably resilient, efficient, and ready for absolutely anything.
So here's the bottom line. We all have this incredible